Everybody. My name is Jeremy Dyke. I'm joining you guys here from sunny, wonderful Phoenix, Arizona. And I am one of the co-owners of Explore Amazing Places. And I'll go ahead and let John introduce himself.
Yes, I'm speaking to you from the jungles of Panama. I'm out on the Azuero Peninsula in Panama, and I'm the other co-owner and founder of Explore Amazing Places. So Jeremy and I together are going to do a little dance and tell you a little more about this upcoming trip with Bob Burridge, the workshop and tour, more of the tour aspect. Bob really handles the workshop part. So Jeremy, you've got some slides.
We're going to Guatemala, everybody. Sorry I interrupted you, John, but I want to let everybody know that how excited I am about going back to Guatemala again, doing another workshop. So it was great the first time, so I can't wait. And so I know John and Jeremy is going to explain everything that we've been doing. Here we go.
All right. Okay. This first slide that you see is a photograph of one of the main streets in Antigua, Guatemala. We'll be going to Antigua, I think, first on our trip, on our tour, after we leave Panama City. Antigua is a city that was built during the colonial era back in the 1500s. As a matter of fact, 1541. And what you're looking at there is that yellow edifice crossing the street, and the cobblestone street, you'll notice all the streets there are cobblestone, is a walkway that was built, an arch that was built by the city for the nuns of that monastery, the old ruin that you see on the right, who were cloistered nuns. And before they could go out into the public, they couldn't go out to the public, before they could cross the street to get to their orchards and their gardens, they had to go through this archway so that they could not be seen by the public, and they couldn't see the public as cloistered nuns. So it's got quite a history. It's withstood many, many earthquakes. Some of the other buildings not so, but it was built really well. It happens to drop into, on the left side, you can't see it, but on the left side is where I used to live for 8 years, and it drops into my terrace, my upper balcony. So every morning I'd reach out and touch the arch and be sort of blessed for the day.
Nice.
As we move along, the next slide I think you're going to see is an overview. This is up from up on the mountain overlooking the city of Antigua, and in the background you can see the volcano Agua. It's not active volcano. So this city is probably the most colonial of all Latin America cities that I've been to in Latin America, and I've been all over Latin America. Lived there in Antigua for 8 years. Love it. It's an absolutely stunning, magical city. I think you'll really enjoy the history, the uniqueness, the old buildings. Now, what you're looking at there is Guatemala City. And in 1771, when a major earthquake toppled Antigua and demolished most of the buildings there, everybody was forced to move to a new area, which is today called Guatemala City. And it's a modern city, as you can see, well built up. We're only going to spend the first day there. In fact, not even the whole day. In the morning, we're going to go visit the Shell Museum, which is the textile museum. And right next door to it is the Archaeological Museum, so that we can get a sense of what we're going to be seeing and what the culture is like in Guatemala. Here, for example, are some beautiful textiles. You'll see this all over Guatemala. These are the beautiful huipiles and the cortes that these women are wearing that they weave themselves. Weaving is still in the culture there, although it's slowly dying out, but we're doing everything we can do to preserve it. But that's one of the reasons people love coming to Guatemala, is the beautiful color of all the textiles.
Yeah.
Right up Bob's alley with the color.
I was going to say, I mean, it's one of the reasons I love to go there. And by the way, I just wanted to
got another slide.
Check again, John, that everybody know that's their daily outfit. It's not for tourists, just for parades. I mean, they wear this every day. It's amazing as a photographer.
That's exactly right. And
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and they may only have one outfit, and they wash it once a week, and wear it for the next week. Some of them, the luckier ones, may have two, so that they change every week. we're going to be staying at the Hotel Casa Santo Domingo, which is an amazing place. It was a 1541, began in 1541. The Dominicans came and built their monastery, convent on these grounds. And it's still well preserved in many of the areas around the hotel. And then about 30 years ago, a wealthy Guatemalan who owned a construction company bought the land, bought the area, went in and developed what is now a 5-star hotel. As you can see, surrounded by the ruins that still remain. It's absolutely magical. In the evening, they burn over 500 candles throughout the entire, no, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's almost 2,000 candles that they burn throughout the hotel grounds and the monastery. So it's a 17th century monastery that we'll be staying in. Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Here's a photo of the main street, one of the main churches in the main street of Antigua. As you can see, some of the old buildings. This is a 1700 era building, partially damaged during the earthquakes and restored, and is now a hospital.
Oh, wow. Wow.
The hospital is honoring Hermano Pedro, who was the only saint to be canonized in Guatemala. Pope John Paul came, and I forget the exact year, but it was during the John Paul era, and canonized Hermano Pedro, and he's now a saint. Talk more about that later. But inside the hotel, they created about 5 or 6 years ago the most amazing spa you've ever seen. It is absolutely a blow-away spa. I went in there for the first time like 5 years ago, and I said, I can't believe this. This is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. So those of you who enjoy spa treatments, they're available there at the Hotel Casa Santo Domingo. Jeremy, you're lagging behind me here.
They're still beautiful, though.
Yeah. There's a collage of photos of different photos of Antigua. There's the arch again, the Santa Catarina Arch, the volcano Agua, and down in the lower right-hand corner is the ruins, the remains of the cathedral off of Central Park in Antigua. So we'll be spending 4 days.
Yeah, we're gonna go there and do some painting there too.
Yeah, we'll be painting in different areas in Antigua. We'll take you to some of the ruins to paint, but we'll be spending 4 days there. So there'll be plenty of time for great painting opportunities and venues, and also good time for spas and shopping and dining out. Fabulous restaurants there. After we leave Antigua, we'll head through the highlands of Guatemala to Lake Atitlan. Aldous Huxley, back in the day, he was a famous traveler and author. He called it the most beautiful lake in the world, and in fact, it is still one of the most beautiful lakes in the world. I think there are 5 top lakes that most people consider the most beautiful. Antigua is one of the Atitlan is one of those. So at Atitlan, we'll be staying at the Hotel Atitlan, which is a fabulous colonial style hotel. Very, I don't know. It's when you go there, when you come from Antigua and you come from traveling and you go to Hotel Atitlan, the best way I can describe it is you just go,
right.
Everything rolls off. Right, Bob? Your shoulders just drop and you just feel so relaxed.
You're breathing and I can't stop smiling. It's like a paradise for anyone and you don't always have to paint. Sketching is just as good, colored pencils and things like that. So you don't have to bring your entire studio, but you will be inspired. Just leave even small little spots where the flowers are and the bushes and even the furniture is so beautiful. But look what you got in the background. You got the sun, energy, that beautiful sky, and that fantastic volcano sitting back there. So the energy is what I really like. I mean, you just feel the energy. And you're right. There's what shoulders? They drop off my arms. As a matter of fact, it's that wonderful. And I did not want to leave. It's one of those kinds of places. Yeah, the
Yeah.
accommodation.
And what you're looking at there is the hotel pool, which is right off the terrace, the dining terrace, which is an outside dining terrace. And then just beyond the pool, you can barely see it, is the jacuzzi. It's a huge, huge jacuzzi. There's another collage of some of the parts of the hotel. Again, that is the jacuzzi there in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yes,
Jeremy.
it is.
And the right is the terrace I just mentioned, the outdoor dining,
I love
covered,
that terrace.
of course, dining terrace overlooking the volcanoes. Three beautiful volcanoes. The lake is also, I'm looking unstable. Are you still hearing me? Yep. Okay. The lake is also surrounded by 12 beautiful Maya villages, where we'll be able to go to a couple of the villages and visit and do some shopping and do some sketching if you want, photographing. Down below, you'll see some of the gardens of the hotel. This photo shows one of the launches that we'll use to go to one of the villages. Shows some weaving going on and the volcano in the background. But again, we'll be spending. Of
course, yeah. This is their everyday activity. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll be seeing it all. We'll be spending 4 days here as well, with lots of activities, lots of exploring, in addition to great painting and great venues, wonderful venues throughout the gardens of the hotel. And hotel is surrounded by beautiful botanical gardens that my wife's mother created. The hotel is owned by my mother-in-law, as a matter of fact. What you see here is one of the days on a Sunday, we'll be going to the famous Maya market of Chichi, Castanego. And in Chichi, Castanego, you'll see where the Maya have gathered for well over 800-900 years, bringing their goods to the town out of the mountains and selling their goods. These women up in the top left-hand corner are on the steps of the church, selling their flowers. Down in the left, they're selling textiles. In the streets are closed off during Thursday and Sunday during market day, and the people come down and set up their stalls and set up all their wares and sell them to not only locals but also tourists.
Man, yeah. Again, I can't stop smiling every time I walk through that market. It's that great.
It's color everywhere. And
yes,
when you go into the market, it's just it's an assault of all the senses. I mean, the sounds, the smells, the sights. It's just absolutely mind blowing. There's another view of one of my mother-in-law's gardens. People fly in from all to go to this hotel. There are 3 heliports down in the lower level, and people will fly in their helicopter just to have breakfast here. It's so stunning and so beautiful. They'll have breakfast and take a walk around the garden, get in their helicopter, and leave again.
And we get to stay. We get to stay.
Yeah,
best part. Yeah.
That picture on the left, that just snapped that on my cell phone from the window of my room at the hotel. So it's no matter where you look, it's just stunning. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's a great shot. Yeah.
Next slide. Next
what
slide.
Shot. Wow, that's fantastic.
Are there no more slides?
Wait for it, John. I think it's just like
this takes a long time to get to Panama.
There it is. All right. Again, beautiful Maya woman on the left with her colorful huipil, which is the blouse, with her bundle of textiles on her head, headed to the market to sell her wares. On the right, that's the church there in Chichi, Castanego. One of the other churches, there are like 3 or 4 in Chichi. That's not the main one. And then down below, a beautiful view of some of the volcanoes. There, one in the lower right-hand corner is actually spewing. It's going off in this photo. And we see that every once in a while. We're a good distance from those volcanoes when we're in Antigua, like 12 miles. But to see that happen in the evening is just stunning. It's just beautiful.
It must be. Yeah.
Here we are. Oh, on the lower left-hand corner is some one of the carpets, and the guys all dressed up in their robes. They're called cucuruchos, and those are the guys that will be carrying the major floats that come out of all the church churches during the Semana Santa, which is the week leading up to Easter, Holy Week. There are about 16 processions that come out of the churches there, with men carrying these gigantic floats. It takes 40 to 80 men to shoulder and carry these floats. You can only carry for a block, and then you switch off with 40 to 80 other guys, and they take over. Each one of those processions lasts anywhere from 12 to 16 hours. So you just can imagine the city during Semana Santa is just amazing. Throughout all the cobblestone streets, you'll see these carpets that are made of colored sawdust, flower petals, vegetables, all kinds of things, and turned into magnificent art. Some of the artwork is just like artwork you've never seen before. You can't imagine that they could create this, but they'll come out there in the middle of the night with lights on and music blaring and drinks and food, and families will build these carpets that go throughout the streets, 14 city blocks of the colonial part of Antigua. An amazing event if you ever get an opportunity to go.
Artists visiting artists. I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the end. Well, thank you all for your attention. I hope I gave you a little taste of what it looks like to be in Antigua and at Lake Atitlan. And Jeremy and I are here to answer any questions. And Bob and Kate, you guys are there to expand on anything that we didn't cover.
Oh boy, we could go for another hour about talking about all those different places we visited. I mean, it's difficult to see in a short period of time like this for our attention span, is to be overconsumed and overwhelmed by the color. And as a painter or a photographer or someone who just wants to sketch, you won't stop. And I think every artist needs to experience a culture like that, which is not around here where I am. But as if you want to explore about history, holy cow! And John's very, very articulate about the history, and it's fun we go to these different places, and John will give a little brief 5-10 minute explanation and history of the place, which makes it even more, you kind of get into the painting even more so. And then you have a reason why you're painting this cathedral or the church steps or the colorful markets. And you kind of get, and when you know the history of something, you do a little bit better of a job. And you don't have to be a great painter.
Well, guests come with painters, non-painters, partners, and there's plenty to do. Oh my gosh, it's full. Yeah.
I just say you don't have to be a great painter, you just have to want to paint. So you don't have to know everything, and you will become a better painter just by having the real subject live, not from a photograph in front of you. And then one of the things I just want to mention, John mentioned it quickly, but over on the steps of the churches, that was just the end of one of the masses, where you get all these great aromas, as you can imagine. The incense was just like, how more can I get involved in this culture here? Oh, let's go have some food then after that one too. But really, the market itself was overwhelming. You're just meandering around. It's huge. And again, I can't stop smiling every time I'm around there. And it's somebody else's culture, and I feel completely safe, obviously. And I'm going back there again. So
yeah, we are going, and we would love to have you come with us.
Yeah.
And so Jeremy and John.
One last thing I'd mention is that my wife and I have lived down here for over 20 years. We've lived in Guatemala, we've lived in Honduras, we've lived in Argentina, and now we're in Panama. So we know the people, we know the culture, we know the back roads, we know all the great places to see. We have lots of wonderful connections. Our trips are extremely safe. I mean, we've never in 21 years had any sort of an incident that would be of concern to anybody. People always are, worried about coming to Latin America and to these third world countries. But trust me, I feel much safer here than I do in San Antonio, Texas, or LA, or any other big city. It is very safe, and our trips are, I think, fabulous. So we'd love to have you join us. Jeremy, you got a few words closing before we ask for questions?
Claro que sí, por más de 20. No, I'm just kidding. No, yes, absolutely. My family and I have lived south of the border for more than 20 years, and these are some of the most amazing places. My journey into life in south of the border in Latin America began when I went to Antigua, Guatemala, I believe it was in 1997, to experience Semana Santa, and then from there I just kept going. Didn't come back home, and it was absolutely the most amazing place I'd ever been to. And of all the places I've journeyed, all the places I've been, to this day, Antigua is still at the top of that list. It's a place that you want to go. It's a place you want to experience. There is nothing like it. And I've had the joy and the pleasure when John and I met in Honduras years ago, and to be able to join him and experience Atitlan through his eyes and through his family's eyes. And again, there's just no words. It's incredible.
And you won't forget.
To go.
You won't forget.
Yeah.
You'll never forget it. And
right.
Of course, we brought back some artifacts, and so we have some of the blankets here in our living room, and you can tell by some of the colors in my living room. Yeah, I like color, and I like the culture and all that. And it reminds us every time we're here in the kitchen or in the living room, we have the music on too. I don't understand any of the words. Thank you for John and Jeremy, but I understand the enthusiasm, and I just like to absorb all of that. And I put that into my paintings too, as a matter of fact. As I like to say, you don't have to know how to paint, you just have to love to paint. And what a great place to do it at. So thank you, John.
If you join our next Zoom meeting, Bob will be doing the entire meeting. He'll be singing in Spanish to us, and so we'll have that as part of it.
I'll wear the clothes. I'll wear the cummerbund thing there, the whole thing, and
perfect.
No, I won't. But yeah, okay. Thanks. I'll do the dancing and all that down there.
Perfect.
We do that. We go to parties, by the way. We won't tell them about the party we're all going to be going to.
Okay, Jeremy, do you want to take us out?
I just to let you know, I put a link there in the chat as to where you can find some more information. Kate and Bob have been sending out links. I encourage you to go to our website, exploreamazingplaces.com. Click on the link there that you'll see Bob's picture. He'll have all the details, including a full itinerary. And then there's a place where you can communicate. If you have interest, let me know right away, and we'll get that all taken care of. And I really hope to see you there.